Okay, let's be specific. I did not exactly trade my Glock straight up for a high point. First of all, when I say high point, I am talking about a high point carbine. I've never owned a high point pistol, not saying I wouldn't, but I never have. But I've owned 3 of these carbines and I like them a lot. They're pretty neat. So, this particular one is in .40 caliber. And here's the deal. I had a Glock Model 22, which is a full-size .40 caliber. I'm not a huge fan of the .40 caliber, but I do have a lot of spent brass and other components. And in fact, I've got a bullet mold. And that's kind of a good thing, except that the Glock is really not, and some people will disagree with me on this, but it's been proven well enough to my satisfaction anyway, that the Glock is not all that great for cast bullets. And I considered buying an aftermarket barrel. In fact, I did buy an aftermarket barrel for 9mm for it, and you know, that worked well. But for a long time then, I was thinking about buying a .40 caliber barrel, aftermarket, you know, with the more standard rifling that's more well suited for cast bullets than the factory barrel is. And I was no longer able to get, you know, the cheap deal on those, because when I bought the 9mm barrel, I think it was $75 and free shipping. And you know, the only .40 caliber barrels I could find when I decided, you know, I would kind of like to buy one, they were all $150 or something like that. So I really didn't want to do that. And then it seems like they became completely unavailable for a long time, while I was trying to make up my mind whether or not to spend that much money on it. I eventually decided not to, because I didn't really like the pistol all that much, and it really wasn't doing anything for me. And you know, I used to carry it with me on road trips, because I figured if I'm in New Mexico or something and something happens to the pistol and it doesn't come home with me, I'm not going to cry much about that, you know, versus, say, my GP100, for example. But anyway, long story short, I decided that I would just get rid of the Glock .40 caliber. But because I had all these components and the bullet mold and everything, I wanted something that would shoot .40 caliber and that would work well with cast bullets. So I sold the Glock, and I actually didn't even sell the entire Glock pistol. I sold the top end, the slide and barrel assembly, for more money than I had in the entire pistol. And then I gave the rest of the pistol and the holster to a friend of mine. And you know, he's given me stuff like that in the past, so you know, I felt like it was a good thing to do to give it to him. So anyway, I took some of the money that I sold the top end from that Glock for, and I bought this. I found one of these on at a gun seller, you know, of course in FFL. I found it online, but you know, people who actually buy guns and actually know what the real laws are know that, you know, when you buy a gun online. You're not actually buying a gun online. You're buying it online, but it still has to be shipped to an FFL in your state, and you have to go there and do the background check and everything, just like if you were buying it from your dealer. So anyway, I just wanted to clarify that, because there's a lot of anti-gun lies, basically, about buying guns online. And but anyway, I found this. It was a good deal, especially considering the times, the way things are now. And they seem to be getting a little bit better, though. But I bought this 40 caliber. It was on sale, actually. And 40 caliber, because it's not as popular as it used to be, it was on sale where the other calibers were not. So I jumped on it. And like I said, I got it for less money than I sold the top end from that Glock for. So there it is. Now I've got some light loads here. I don't know how well they're going to function. And I actually had some. I had something like 85 cast bullet loads that were given to me. And I didn't want to shoot them in the Glock, although I did shoot a few of them in the Glock when I had it, and they did lead the barrel, so I stopped doing that. But those cast bullets were seated out a little bit far, and so they had some pretty bad functioning feed problems in this gun. But so I would have to cycle them through a couple of times, a lot, and a lot of times they wouldn't even feed out of the magazine, so I'd have to, you know, it was almost like shooting a single shot. But I got through all of them, and it didn't seem to have leaded the barrel or anything. So now I've got some plated bullets, and over a light load, and we'll see how it functions. So let's try it. Without further ado, let's bust some cans. Huh. These are some Russian primers, and I've had problems with them being hard primers. So maybe we'll be able to get through a magazine full of them. Unbelievable. Alright, that was it. Let's load some more. See if I can get some of the remainder of them to fire. Man, I need to use up the remainder of these primers in 454 Casull, since that's a Super Red Hawk. So it at least should light them off. Or maybe some of them in 357 Magnum for my GP100. It should light them off pretty well too. In my experience, a K-frame Smith & Wesson will fire some of them and some of them it won't. So that's why a large frame revolver will be better. Or maybe a Blackhawk. I have a 357 Blackhawk. So I can load some of those, some 357s with those primers and shoot them in the Blackhawk as well. So let's see if I can fire the rest of these, or a few of them anyway. One good thing about it is that load does seem to be firing fine and ejecting and cycling. So that's a good thing. The problem is just with the hard primers. And this carbine doesn't have enough, a strong enough striker fall to light all of them. That's my fault for loading with those primers. Uh-oh. Okay. I had a double feed there because the extractor slipped over the rim and didn't eject. Didn't extract, I mean. Great, it still didn't. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. Lock the bolt back. Oh, it came out. Okay. Don't know when. Last time I looked, it was still in there. Okay, there we go. Okay, it's empty. Okay, I've got two remaining that I haven't tried. I'll see if either of those will fire. But although it doesn't seem like it, this has been a success because they feed and function fine. They feed, they cycle and load the next one when they fire. The fact that a lot of them don't fire is my fault for using questionable primers. Now I bought these primers back during the last ammo and component crunch. When Obama was in office and we had difficulty finding components. And like I said, these are some cheap Russian primers, and they work well when they fire. And as long as you use it in something that is capable of lighting off all of them, they work fine. I also have some small rifle primers from the same company, and they work fine. I've never had a problem with them. But Anyway, as I was saying, this test is a success, even though a lot of the primers aren't firing, because that's not the fault of the carbine. So, 2 more shots, either they'll fire or they won't. Thanks for watching. Oh. There's one in there. There we go. Okay. Oh well. There it is. I actually, I used my impact puller to break these cartridges down that did not fire, and I'll punch those primers out, and so they don't go to waste, I'll go ahead and reload them into something else to use with a, you know, GP100 or Super Red Hawk, because I have punched out and reused primers before, and I'll just break these down and use the, you know, put better primers in them and reload them again. Of course, I'm not going to show that on YouTube, but I might show the results of it. Anyway, thanks for watching.